What's up guys, it's Robin Campbell here, the founder of Dance Dojo, where we team up with world-class instructors to help you become a better dancer. You are watching our Finding the Beat series, where we're going to help you find the beat in salsa and find the one. This is a progressive course and it's all on YouTube for free. So what that means is if you haven't watched the previous videos, you might not understand what's going on in this video. So check the links in the video description below to links to previous videos so you can see where you're at in the course and watch what you need to watch to understand. All right, in this lesson, we are going to cover visual examples in a piece of music software to cover beats, bars, and phrases, the very key musical vocabulary that we covered in the previous lesson. So if you haven't watched this lesson already, make sure you do that so you know what I'm talking about. I wanted you to get these concepts super clear so that when we go into real examples with music, you're going to know what I'm talking about. What's up guys? So I found this cool website called soundtrap.com. It's going to allow us to visually see what's going on in the music and make sense of some of this vocabulary and theory that we've just been talking about. So we just covered beats, bars, tempo, and phrasing. So let's quickly review that. So you can see this ruler at the top of the screen. Each number represents one bar. So this is bar 1, this is bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, etc. Each bar has 4 beats. And then the tempo is down here. It's 123 beats per minute at the moment. So if I hit play, I turn the metronome on, you're going to hear what that sounds like. This is 123 beats per minute. So if I make that number higher, you're going to hear those beats faster. And if I make that number lower, you're going to hear those beats slower. So if I turn the metronome off, and let's turn this first track on, this is going to be a kick drum, which is very common in a lot of dance music, a lot of electronic music. And I put a kick drum on each beat so you can hear what that sounds like. So this is a very simple drum pattern in a lot of modern dance music. And as you can see, I can make this longer or make it shorter. And what's interesting is the program doesn't let me make it shorter than 4 beats or 1 bar, because that's how long the pattern is. So what we'd say is this drum pattern phrases in 4 beats. So I can't make it shorter than 4 beats, but I can make it longer, but I can make it 8 beats. And that's what we just listened to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's add another drum sample in, and you'll be able to hear how the two connect in phrases of 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this case, each drum sample is phrasing in 8 counts. And together, those 2 phrases are making a larger phrase, which is 16 counts. So now let's add the other 2 drum samples that I have here, and I'm sure you can hear how they're naturally changing, or it sounds nice, the timing sounds nice when they're changing because they're phrasing in 8s. Now, if I moved these and just smashed them on top of each other, it probably wouldn't sound very good. It just becomes a mishmash of sound without much sense to it. So that's why I wanted you to visually see what's happening in the music and see how things naturally create their own patterns or naturally create phrases, and those things repeat. And it sounds nice because it mathematically makes sense. So let's listen to that one more time. And the cool part about understanding this is that when you recognize the changes in the different instruments and the phrases, that's how you can find the one. So this is where the one is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's going to change. And now this shows you where the one is again. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can try and clap along or tap your finger, whatever you like to do. So now I'm going to mute those drum samples and give you another example, but we're going to use a guitar. So again, this guitar here is going to loop or phrase in 8 counts. As you can see, the computer or the program lets me make it longer, but I can't make it shorter than 8 counts. In the example of the drum, I can make the drum 4 counts because it can actually phrase or complete a full sentence or loop in 4 counts. But this guitar needs an entire 8 counts to complete its pattern. Now I'm going to add another guitar in there. And you're going to see, like the drums, there's a natural, or it sounds nice when the guitar switches. One. 1. 1. 1. So as you can see again, this guitar's phrasing in 8, this guitar's phrasing in 8, so it's a mini phrase. Together they're making a phrase of 16 beats. So these different patterns that you hear in the music are going to help you identify the one. So now let's draw this out a little bit further, and I'm going to turn on this next track, and you're going to hear 4 mini phrases of guitars, but together they're making a larger phrase of 32 beats, because each one of these is 8. Forgot to turn that drum off. One. 1. 1. 1. So you can see how those changes or phrases are happening in 8s, and how at the end of those 32 counts, it's coming back to the beginning, and it creates a sense of continuity, and you start to hear a pattern in the music. And so it's really nice to visually see it here, but then after this, we're going to go to start listening to actual songs, and this understanding is going to help you start finding the beat and being able to tap to it. But then at the same time, the next step after you can tap to the beat and find it is starting to hear these patterns or phrases in the music, whether it's a drum, a guitar, a piano, doesn't matter. And those different phrases and patterns are going to help you identify where the one is. So lastly, I just wanted to turn back this drum sample on one more time because I used the word syncopation before. And syncopation means you can use the beats in between the beats. So if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, a syncopation would be using like the ands in between the numbers. So like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So this is a perfect example. This little loop that I did with the hi-hat. It sounds really fast. but the actual beat is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But what you're hearing is a sound on all the half beats as well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So I hope you guys found that really interesting and helpful. Let's quickly summarize everything. So the basic unit of timing in music is a beat or a count. The speed of the song is called the tempo. A phrase is a complete musical sentence, which could be 4 beats, 8 beats, 16, 32, 64, as long as it's a power of 2. Musicians count in 4s because it's easier to absorb smaller amounts of information when reading sheet music, and a smaller chunk of information is easier to arrange. Dancers count in 8s because it's too difficult to create a piece of movement in only 4 counts. So 8 beats gives us more freedom to create a movement, or a sentence of movement, let's call it. And that's that. So now let's put this all to use and move on and try and find the tempo in some songs.